Alright, so I'm trying to do a video. The boys went down for a nap. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. They woke up at like 6 something, and then they take their little morning short nap, very short nap. Excuse me. And then they get up and they'll play for about maybe 3 hours or so, and then, or 2 to 3 hours, and they'll get cranky again. It's time to go to sleep. So get a little break right now, and I'm going to do a video. So here we go. So basically, I wanted to come on because I'm getting sick and tired of this question, or this, you know, suggestion, or I don't know, it's like it's rubbing me the wrong way. So I wanted to come and vent to y'all because nobody else would understand in a way that I think y'all would understand. Anyway, I'm so tired of people coming to me and saying, oh, so you have 3 boys, you're the only woman in the house, when are you gonna have that girl? My thing is, you know, it's like I'm so tired of, I'm not tired of telling the story, but sometimes I don't feel like going into detail about it. So a lot of times somebody asks me, they're like, oh, so 3 boys, oh my goodness, and no girls. And I'm like, yes, I have 3 daughters, they're in heaven, you know. So I have 3 daughters up there, 3 sons down here. And so y'all gotta excuse me because my sinuses, allergies are acting up crazy this morning. Anyway, it gets me because sometimes I don't be in the mood to try to explain. However, I don't want to say, no, I don't have any daughters, you know, just have sons. So it's like, where is that thin line where you're like, okay, do I tell them about the girls, or do I just move on and be like, yeah, all boys, you know, like that? Even strangers, complete strangers, be like, oh, it's the twins, and oh, and that's your oldest, and I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, how sweet. I was like, oh, so any, you know, what about a girl, this and that. I'm like, well, I don't know you, you don't know me. However, I feel the need to explain to you that I have daughters. So it just gets to me. Excuse me. It just really gets to me sometimes because I never want to leave my daughters out. I never ever want to leave them out. I always want to include them in every aspect, you know. And I feel like sometimes you know, if I don't include them, I feel like I'm leaving them out, and I feel like they would feel some type of way or that I'm not acknowledging them, because I never ever leave them out of anything that we do. You know, whatever it is, we include them no matter what. And so, you know, I don't know if I should just stop saying it all the time. It's like a rerun over and over and over. It's like, no, everywhere we go, pretty much either every store or every location, the only people that don't say anything is really my family. And even sometimes they'll say, you know, y'all gonna try again. That's different. But people that's outside my family and outside of our little family here on YouTube, I get everything as to when are you gonna have a daughter, or you're gonna try again. I'm like, and these people here that like on Facebook or Instagram, they know that we lost daughters. So for them to say, oh, so when y'all gonna have that little girl, I'm like, don't you remember we did have a daughter? Like, why would you even? And I know people don't mean it, some people don't know what to say and how to say it, but sometimes it's better left unsaid than said, if that makes sense. And I catch myself sometimes saying it to people too, but these people that I know that haven't struggled or haven't lost or anything like that. Like, I know one of my friends, she has, I think, 4 boys. I think 4 or 5 boys. And she's like, I'm about to be done. She's like, it's the last try for a girl. And on her last try, she had a little girl. And so like that, we always joke with them, you know, ooh, Lord, y'all got another boy, you know, but it's different. Now, if I see somebody, you know, in public, you know, I may say, oh, all boys, or oh, all girls, but I don't say, oh, so you gotta have that girl, you gotta have that boy, you know. So I don't know, I get kind of fed up answering that question. Like, it just gets to me. You know, it hurt, it picks with a sore spot that's never ever going to heal. Because number one, I mean, I know it's only been it's been 3 years, but it's just something that just eats at my core. Like, it just eats me when somebody, it makes me cringe when somebody asks, you know, oh, when we're gonna have a girl, and I'm just like, yeah, you know. So it does get to me. Speaking of that, speaking on the whole girl thing, you know, are we gonna try again? You know, we still are so undecided, because hubby was like, would you like to adopt? And I said, well, if I'm gonna spend as much money on adoption to get a little girl, then guess what, I can go and have my own. I can pay to see, you know, what the genetics are or whatever, stuff like that, and I can pay for my own. You know, like, why spend all that money to go adopt when I can literally, you know, get pregnant and do it on my own? You know, adoption can be between $10,000 and $20,000 depending on how long or how lengthy or whatever, what companies you go through. You know, it could be that amount. You know, if it's not family, you know, family wise, it can be maybe up to almost $5,000, which is not bad. But I mean, if I'm gonna spend $5,000, I might as well spend $7,000, $2,000 more just to do the whole, see what I'm having. I don't know. It's just some things that just make me say no. Now it depends. Like, if somebody say, you know, no, I wanna, you know, I don't know, like, have you be the parental guardian, you know, raise this child or whatever, and they're serious about it, then, you know, and there wouldn't be any kind of money included, you know, or whatever, then I would do it. You know, I would do it. You know, if it was a little girl, I would do it. However, I just think financially it's just like, it's just too much. And so me and hubby we talked about it and stuff, you know, and we were like, you know, do we really want to do it again? Now, if for some reason God bless us financially to do it where we can find the gender and get, you know, a little girl, then I would do it in a heartbeat. Like I told him, I said, you know, I hate all the needles, the poking, the opening your legs every month, every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. Like, you know, like, to a doctor. Like, you know, I'm so tired of people looking down there. You know, I'm so tired of the poking, the probbing, the, you know, looking at your cervix. Let me look at this. Let me look at that. Let me check this. Let me check that. You know, get blood for this. Get blood for that. Like, it feels so good to not have a needle attached to me right now. And that sounds so bad, but I'm so happy that I'm not in a position to where I'm having to get stuck again. I'm like, if I would have seen probably one more dang on needle, y'all, I promise you I probably would have went crazy. Like, seriously. I think if it wouldn't have worked with the boys, it probably would have, I'm not saying I would have given up, but it would have took me a minute to kind of be like, okay, this is what I really want to do, because it gets old sometimes, you know. And so I don't know, you know, I don't know, you know, they complete me. However, I don't know if it satisfied my my longing for a daughter here in the physical world. It hurts because if I'm like, Lord, just help us be rich just this one time. You know, I look at people like this weekend, I was looking on Instagram, and normally I don't be on Instagram that much. Like, I don't scroll through a lot. Every now and then I'm like, oh, let me just see what's going on. I'll scroll. But a lot of times I'm just uploading, or if somebody respond, I'll respond. Something like that. But I don't just sit on Instagram. Now, Facebook is another story, but like Instagram, I don't sit on it. So anyway, like, I sit on Instagram, and I was scrolling, and I was looking at, I follow a lot of people that are either famous, rich, wealthy, whatever, along with, you know, us normal little folks. But anyway, so anyway, I was looking, you know, and I was just showing, like, say for instance, Steve Harvey. I follow pretty much his whole family. I follow him. I follow his daughter, his baby girl. I follow his son that's married to that chick that they have a daughter and a son. And then I follow his wife. And then I follow, I think either one or both of the twins that he have. Have short hair, and they both got married, and I think one was pregnant. So anyway, I follow a lot of his family. And so this weekend I was looking on there, and like they were celebrating his baby girl's 21st birthday. And it was showing where they went, the clothes they wore, how they had all their girls, like how her friends in the same swimsuit, the same shirts. It was like a whole week of events. Like, they were going to this little, I don't know if it was an island or somewhere, but it was water included, like some kind of beach. And she took pictures, and they had like this whole thing that had her name. It was like what's her name, Lori, I believe, but it had her name, and then it had number 20. Everything was spelled out, and I'm like, I know those letters cost, because I remember I was gonna get something for LeBron. I was like, you know, it just costs. I just started adding people's name up and stuff, and I'm just looking at the little bouquet of flowers that was, and I was just like, God, the money that I mean, the things that I would do with the money if you just bless me with those funds, like I would be able to have my dream come true of having a daughter here in the physical world. Like, you know, if I had enough money, I probably wouldn't even carry it. I would be like, I'll pay somebody to you live right here and watch everything you do. But like, I just look at this and I'm just like, you know, God, like, that was one of my, I ain't gonna say wishes, but one of the things that I prayed for that was like on the top of my list. You know, along from being married, health, family, it was at the top of my list. Of course, have a healthy baby, so don't think for a second that I'm ungrateful. You know, this video is not about that. It's just about what I would do, you know. I mean, not what I would do, but it's about my daughters in general, but, and having a daughter, but here in the physical world. But like, I just was like, you know, God, you know, if I just came into some funds where I could do this again, I would, you know. And I say, Lord, you know, if it's supposed to happen, then I just ask that you supply financially for us to, you know, do it again. I want it to be done. Like, I wish I would have had my girl and my boy this time. I wish that would, like, I sometimes look at both of them and I'm saying, oh, I wish this was it. Like, I wish I was done. Like, I mean, not done, but I wish my craving for a daughter was done. Like, I wish it was done. Like, oh. So it's not bad. It's not very bad, because it's what I told my husband. See, I have a niece and I have two nieces. Well, my brother has two girls, and then my stepbrother has some daughters as well, but they all stay like you know, away from me or whatnot. But anyway, like my brother's girls, you know, I can have fun with them to a certain extent or whatever, you know. But I do have a goddaughter. I have two other goddaughters, one from one of my friends and then one from my first cousin. And she's the oldest. And so I had told my husband, I said, well, maybe what I can do is just spend more time with them. Maybe, you know, I can be a really good influence in my goddaughter, you know, life, and, you know, pick them up, do girl things with them, buy me and them matching shirts, you know, when I go pick them up. Because I do plan on, when we move, which we're hoping and praying around the summer, hoping and praying that God had that in his will, his plan, for us to move to a house, and that way I can have my goddaughters come up more often and spend more time with me, and, you know, I can buy them shirts and we can wear them out, because I have two goddaughters that I know that will probably even love being around each other or whatnot, and they're about the same age, give or take a year. And, you know, like I told my husband, I said maybe I could start doing things with them, you know. And even though I can't see me in them, still in all, you know, I have a bond with them, and I can do things with them that I would do with a physical daughter here. And I feel like, like I said, one of them, which is my little cousin as well, you know, I feel like I can be a big influence in her life, and I can do a lot of things with her that she may not be doing right now, you know. And so I told my husband, maybe, you know, God wants me to kind of focus on her, you know, a little bit more versus me trying to do this again. So I've been praying just to kind of get some confirmation, some answers and stuff. And what's so crazy, like, I'm seeing other people that were pregnant with me that their baby is probably like between maybe 6 to 8 months now or something like that, and they're doing it again. They're doing IVF again. I'm just like, wow, like, I wish, you know, we had money in the bank like that to just on this, you know. Like, you know, it's like you have the money, you like, what you want to do? You want a house or you want another kid? You know, or you want to do this or you want to do that. You know, I definitely want to, you know, do vacation this summer, you know, because we haven't been able to do vacation in a while, because we've been trying to get pregnant and stuff. So it just makes it a little bit more difficult, you know, to choose what's what, you know. So hubby is really, he's like, I really want a little girl. I want you to have a little girl in the physical world here. And he was like, I think, you know, I think we should do it again, you know, if we come into the funds or we run into the right job with the right insurance, who knows. But I know God have a way of doing things in his perfect timing, you know, and I always said I didn't want to have no kids in my 30s. Like, Lord Jesus, like, I'll be 35 this year. And although I know women that's older than me getting pregnant and so forth, to me, I'm just like, I want to be able to do things with them, you know, not be old and decrepit by the time they two, you know, and stuff. So I don't know, you know, it's just been a lot of thoughts on that lately. And I don't know. So we're just going to continue to pray about it and continue to, you know, look into that and so forth. So something else about my daughters is that we finally got their headstone in, and I'll try and post a picture here for y'all. And they did not censor it. They put it only on London's, above London's plot. And Lindsay was supposed to be, they're right next to each other, so they're supposed to be censored, so they both have that. And so when I called to verify, they're like, oh, well, somebody's buried in between them. How in the heck is somebody buried in between them when originally they were already next to each other? So explain that to me. There's no way that somebody's supposed to be in between them, because anytime we took pictures, y'all saw nobody's ever been in between them. So as a matter of fact, I gotta call them today, as a matter of fact, because she was supposed to been call me back, and she has not called me back yet. But I'm definitely gonna call and see, because I know it wasn't moved just yet. So I gotta call and see. But yeah, we got it in, and so forth. And you know, I know it's been 3 years, you know, and when they actually passed away, financially, y'all know we were not able to afford a stone. And then I had someone in the family that said that they were going to take care of it for me, and they did not take care of that part for me. So I took it upon myself, me and my husband, to go ahead and start making payments on it. And so we paid half, because if you pay half, they'll get it done. So they'll make it for half that amount. They'll make it, and then when you pay the rest, they'll place it. So we paid half for them to go ahead and start making it. And I was talking to my mom, I was telling her, and I said, Mom, I said, guess what? I said, we finally, you know, got London and Lindsay headstone, you know, getting started. And all we gotta do is pay the other half and they'll place it. And I was like, you know, it's just a blessing to get that taken care of. And she said, well, what we'll do, you know, for their birthday, we'll go ahead and pay the rest off. And like, I tried everything I could to hold it in, y'all. You know, I tried my best, and I was just so happy inside. I was like, oh my gosh, Mama, you see, like, it was so unexpected. My mom always have a big heart, so don't think for a minute that I'm saying that she normally doesn't do stuff. She always does stuff, you know, all the time. But it was so unexpected because I wasn't even thinking to even think that she would want to, you know, do that. And for her to say, you know, for their birthday, again, that's still acknowledging them, you know, acknowledging them. And that's what I be telling people, is like, when you have children and your family acknowledge the kids that you had, even though they passed on, it makes the grieving process easier. It makes living with that pain easier, because people don't just swipe your kids under the rug and be like, oh well, you know, they were born, they passed, move on. Like, we constantly to this day still bring up London and Lindsay's name like they never passed away, you know. And I love it because it makes me feel like they mattered to people, that they were loved, and that they, you know, were that they weren't just these babies that lived for a couple days or a couple hours or seconds or whatever and then was just tossed on the ground. They were really loved, and they were wanted, you know, by the family, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know, it just makes me feel good and warm inside to know that they're still acknowledged and still, you know, loved and so forth. So anyway, that's my rant about the girls, and about having girls, and about getting pregnant again and everything else and stuff. And so I just wanted to come to y'all and, you know, just vent a little bit about that. And if you have a situation like that, where you had all girls, you know, or you've had a baby and it's like, you know, either you can't get pregnant again, or you know you're not gonna get pregnant again, or you know you're not gonna do IVF again, and somebody's asking you when you gonna have the next one, or when you gonna have a little brother or a little sister, and you like, I either can't, or I'm in a situation where I, you know, like, let me know how y'all dealt with that. You know, like, what did you say? You know, if somebody asks you, oh, well, you're not gonna give that baby a sibling, and you know in your mind you done had like 4 other children that passed away, do you acknowledge the fact that you had them and you tell them the story, or do you just move on? Yeah, that's it today, y'all. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Bye. On them, just stuff like that. So everything has been sensory. Nothing has been where, you know, you